Wait. Oh. I know. I'm late. Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aiden, and in today's video, we will be taking a look at my top 10 best upcoming sneakers for the month of July. Before we get into it, just to address the elephant in the room, we did end up skipping last month, and it was the very first time in 3 years of doing YouTube that we did actually skip doing a top 10 sneaker video. And I do just want to address it for the few people that asked me why I didn't do that video. The main reason being, there just honestly wasn't a lot of releases coming out that I wanted to talk about or that I felt like you guys would want to take a look at. With that said, there was a couple, but to make a whole video on it would have been pretty difficult. So I did make the tough decision to skip it, and that's why there wasn't a top 10 sneaker video last month. Hopefully moving forward we won't have that issue again, and trust me when I say July is absolutely stacked. I could have done 20 for this list to make up for the 10 we missed out on. But with all that said, we have narrowed it down to a top 10, and there are some absolutely incredible releases. So I don't want to take up any more time on the intro. Just sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So no mucking about, just getting straight into this list with our very first release. And first up we do have the Air Jordan 2 UNC, scheduled to be releasing on the 8th of July for a retail price of £145. And I know Jordan 2s in general are a little bit of a Marmite shoe, and I feel like there are more people that dislike Jordan 2s than actually like Jordan 2s. But I do genuinely believe of all the Jordan 2 releases we've seen over the last 12 months, this is definitely up there as one of the best that we've actually seen to date, featuring that absolutely incredible UNC colorway and that color blocking and that overall just look. It's absolutely incredible, and it is definitely a very, very nice shoe for a very affordable price. As far as the release is concerned, Jordan 2s definitely don't do very well, but because it is a UNC colorway, it could go the other way and end up selling out. So if you want to get your hands on them, they will be available on the Sneakers app. They will also be available via raffle as well. And if you're asking for my personal opinion, I personally feel like this shoe is going to be very widely available. So I would definitely say, do proceed with caution. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, and this next one is actually again a very nice summer option. So next up we do have the Nike Air Max TN Plus in the black and blue gradient, scheduled to be releasing on the 13th of July for a retail price of £175. A very hefty price point for a TN, but again, it's just the sign of the times, it's just how things are, so we're going to kind of just have to learn to live with it. Now the shoe itself, absolutely incredible, definitely going to be an absolutely spectacular pair this summer. I recently tried to pick up a pair of TNs just to kind of see how they feel. It's been a very long time since I've actually owned a pair. And again, it just kind of reaffirms why I don't own TNs. The size norm's a little bit mad, and it's just not something that I personally need for my own personal collection. It's too much of a headache for me.
Computer says no.
For the most of the time, they are generally very easy to get, so I do tend to say wait it out, see if they go on sale, or see if you can get a discount code. And again, that's what I'm going to suggest for this one. I think it will be very widely available. I do think it will be releasing on Nike over Sneakers. And as far as raffles are concerned, I don't think it'll be a raffle, although certain places may raffle them off. I think most retailers will have them as a pretty standard GR. So if you want to get your hands on them, don't head out, don't rush out to get them, because this one in general is definitely going to be very easy to get. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, but moving over again to another Nike silhouette. Next up we do have the Nike Dunk Low in the Chicago split colorway, also scheduled to be releasing on the 13th of July, this time for a much more reasonable retail price of £110. Now that's just the rumoured price, don't quote me on it, it could be higher, it could be lower, but that's just what I'm seeing on the source supplier. Now this isn't the first time we've actually seen a Chicago Dunk Low. We've seen it on SBs and just on the regular Dunks as well. We've also seen a bunch of different Chicago variants on a bunch of different Jordans recently over the last year or so. So it definitely feels like the Chicago theme is very strong, and we are going to see probably even more releases throughout the next few years as well. They have tried to diversify this one a little bit by adding some alternative details, such as splitting up the swoosh and splitting up the outsole, and kind of just giving the shoe a slightly different vibe. Colorways like this do still tend to sell out and do quite well. So with that in mind, I am going to suggest if you do want to get your hands on this pair, I am expecting that it will be releasing on both the Sneakers app as well as via raffle and probably through some skate shops as well. So with all things concerned, if you want to get your hands on them, make sure to enter some raffles, not all of them. Make sure you're available on Sneakers, because in my opinion, I definitely can see this shoe selling out. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, and next up we do have the Air Jordan 7 Chambray, scheduled to be releasing on the 15th of July for a retail price of £180. Again, an astronomical price for, in all honesty, in my humble opinion, a pretty average looking shoe. Now, I definitely do have a soft spot when it does come to Jordan 7s. It's one of my favourite models. It's very comfortable. Maybe not the easiest to dress in terms of aesthetics, but definitely easy enough to match up to a lot of outfits in terms of the colourways, because a lot of the time, Jordan 7 colourways are very, very nice. This one in particular, I'm not knocking it. It's a very simple, very easy to rock colourway, very clean looking. But there's just no real wow factor behind it. The only reason I'm including it is because of the fact that, like I say, I do have that soft spot for Jordan 7s. If you're a fan of them and you like the colourway, don't let what I'm saying detract from it, because if you like it, I love it for you. But for me personally, this is definitely going to be one of the easier cops, or the easier drops I should say, as far as this month's concerned, because this is definitely not a shoe that I personally need for the personal collection. With that said, Jordan 7s, as far as Europe's concerned, never sell out. I don't know of a single Jordan 7 in the last 5 years that are sold out. So if you want to get your hands on them, this is definitely going to be one of the easier ones to get. We have seen a lot of Jordan Retros actually going on sale. So again, it may be worthwhile just hanging on, seeing how things go in maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months. You probably will be able to get these for way under retail. So with that in mind, I personally feel like this shoe is definitely going to sit. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, and this next pair, I honestly wasn't expecting to be seeing releasing anytime soon, but here we are. So next up we do have the Nike Air Max Charles Barkley 94 in the black and purple colourway, scheduled to be releasing on the 16th of July for a retail price of £145. Again, I really wasn't sure about that retail price, especially looking at a lot of other recent releases of other silhouettes that were released around that same time. If we're seeing Jordan Retros going at 180, 190, but Charles Barkley's only at 145, I'm down for 145.
Shut up and take my money.
And with all that said, this is definitely one of those shoes that I absolutely love. I remember these releasing back in 2020 over in the States. We never got a release here in Europe. And I remember watching people's reviews and just seeing how clean the sneaker is. And I honestly wished I was able to get it for my own collection. I was checking StockX and Go, trying to see where I could actually get it for myself. There's something about the silhouette, the way it looks, the colorway, the retro vibe of the shoe itself. I honestly love this sneaker, and it would definitely be something I would love to add to the own personal collection. I've kind of moved away from the whole basketball aesthetic. I've kind of moved into like maybe my granddad era, you know, corduroy shirt and all that. So I'm definitely not rocking basketball silhouettes as much as I once was, but I would definitely make the exception for this one, because in my humble opinion, this is definitely one of my favourite drops releasing throughout July. Now, as far as I can see online, they are due to be releasing on both sneakers as well as via those raffles. And like I say, I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that this shoe could potentially sell out, but at the same time, basketball silhouettes in general tend to be fairly easy to get depending on whether they're hype or not. So I'm going to sit firmly on the fence and say I'm not sure which way it's going to go. If you want to get them, make sure you enter in those raffles. Make sure you try your luck on sneakers as well, because as I say, this shoe could very easily sell out. Could very easily sit. We're just going to kind of have to watch this space. Who knows?
The show goes on!
So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list. But before we get into the shoe, I do need to give a shout out to Life Verbroski, because if it weren't for him, I'd have had absolutely no idea that this shoe was even releasing. So next up we do have the Nike Air Huarache Runner in the black and khaki colourway, scheduled to be releasing on the 20th of July for a yet to be confirmed retail price tag. Because this is effectively a slight variation on a popular model, I mean it's like a beefed up version of the Huarache basically, nowhere I've seen has actually got a confirmed retail price point as yet. As soon as I get any information on that, I will make sure to post it in my community tab, but as things stand right now, it's to be confirmed, so that's just what we'll have to go with. Now, I was always a huge fan of the Huarache growing up. I feel like most people that watch this video that is from the 90s was a fan of the Huarache growing up. It was one of those shoes, it was a staple in the collection. It was definitely one of those shoes that you had to have to almost fit into the crowd effectively. In a way, the way the Panda Dunks are right now for most of these young people. And I feel like when it comes to Huaraches, there's definitely a little bit of nostalgia that goes along with it. I moved away from my Huarache era a very long time ago, and I will be honest, I'm just not a big Huarache fan anymore. But as soon as I saw these with that beefed up look and that different overall aesthetic vibe of the shoe, I am all for these, and I honestly cannot wait for them to come out to actually try them for myself. The details, the different materials, the mini swoosh on it, everything all combined, the colourway on this one in particular. I do think there is actually a couple of other colourways that are due to be coming out as well, which I will be honest, are a little bit underwhelming. They're absolutely fine, not really a lot for me to talk about, but overall this was definitely the best one I've seen today, and this is definitely the one that I'll be aiming to get for my own personal collection, and also to be able to give you guys a review on it as well. It's a very nice, clean, easy to rock summer shoe, and if you've ever owned a pair of Ratchets before, you'll know just how comfortable they are, and you know, comfort is king right now, so I can definitely see this shoe doing very, very well. But again, just to kind of sum it up, as far as the shoe is concerned, I will be honest, I'm not sure it's going to sell out, so I will just say I personally feel like this shoe could sit. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, and this next one is actually one of two absolute must-cops for me personally. So next up we do have the Nike Air Max 1 Clear Jade, finally scheduled to be releasing on the 23rd of July for a retail price of £145. Now for anyone that knows me, you know how absolutely, utterly obsessed I am with the Air Max 1, and this shoe in particular is one of the ones I've had my eye on since it was announced at the start of the year. It's a very beautiful colourway, there's no other way to describe it. It is perfect for summer, it has that OG colour blocking, the materials are just Air Max 1 materials, so I'm not going to get into those, but the shoe itself looks absolutely, utterly incredible, and is definitely high on the list for me. I mean, honestly, as far as a lot of these other releases are concerned, there's one other one I do want slightly more, but this is definitely up there as one of the shoes that will probably end up making my top 10 sneakers of the year. Now, when it comes to the releases in general, they tend to release on sneakers and they do tend to release via raffles. But what I've been doing more recently is just waiting to release day, either heading to the retailer, either online or in store. They tend to have an abundance of pairs available, and I do think, even though this is a very clean colorway and it is going to be one that a lot of people are going to be going for, hopefully everyone that's watching that does want to get their hands on a pair will be able to get them, because I do expect, as I say, that this shoe is going to be pretty widely available. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, and this next one is definitely guaranteed to be a fan favourite. Next up we do have the Air Jordan 1 UNC Tour, scheduled to be releasing on the 22nd of July for a retail price of £175, and they are scheduled to be releasing in full family sizing. So if you like them for yourself, you can also lace up the entire family. That could be pretty pricey though, especially if you look at the prices for the kids' pairs. I was looking at getting them for my kids, and when I saw those prices, it was an absolute no-go. But if you like them for the whole family, this could definitely be one to pick up for yourself. Now, when it comes to UNC and Jordan 1s, it's always going to work. We have recently seen a Jordan 1 UNC, I think in 2021. We also had the Hyper Royals. And again, we're seeing other UNC releases, so we're getting the 2s at the start of the month. A couple of years ago we had the 3s, we've had the 4s, we've had the 5s, we've had the 6s, so it is definitely going to be one of the more popular releases throughout July. Everybody loves the UNC colorway. A lot of people seem to be complaining about the color blocking because we have the UNC Tour. I kind of feel like it definitely gives the shoe a little bit more of an immature look. I feel like they definitely look better in the smaller sizes, so toddler, children and GS, that's my opinion on it. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Now, like we see with most Jordan releases, again, this shoe will be released on the Sneakers app. It will also be releasing via raffle, and that is the same for all of the GS sizes as well. So again, if you're trying to get the whole family, enter all those raffles on all those different retailers, because it goes without saying, just for me personally, that this shoe is definitely gonna sell out. So just moving on swiftly to the next one up on our list, and this next one is the second of the two must-cops for me personally. So next up we do have the Nike Air Max 1 Chili 2.0, scheduled to finally be releasing on the 25th of July, again for a retail price of £145. Now this shoe has already seen an initial release over on Jade in the States. I saw a bunch of people actually getting them, apparently they were sitting on shelves. Absolutely broke my heart that they was able to get them and I wasn't. I even went over to Go and StockX to see if I could get a pair. They were either drastically overpriced or there wasn't very limited sizes available for me. So I did just say to myself, I'm better off just waiting until we get a full release. Unfortunately enough, that release is finally happening on the 25th of July, and I honestly can't wait to get my hands on them. Now, of course, with it being the Chili 2.0, there had to be a Chili 1.0, and that shoe actually released all the way back in 2003. Now, based on what I've seen online, it's not a one-to-one reissue of that initial shoe, and I won't be going through all the details of it because I will be saving all that information for my actual review. But trust me when I say, I will be getting these shoes absolutely 1000%, because I don't really say this often, but there are certain exceptions and there are certain occasions where I feel like a double up is needed. And this could be one of those occasions where a double up is needed. Now, because of the fact that there was such a massive amount of quantity just at one retailer in the States, I am expecting that there's going to be a massive quantity of pairs at a bunch of retailers on release through raffle, as well as releasing through the Sneakers app as well. So because of the fact that they've already been a huge release and a lot of people tend to be passing on them, I am going to suggest that you do proceed with caution. Don't be entering all the raffles for this one. Don't be going crazy for it. Because again, I do expect that if you want to get your hands on them like I do, this shoe should hopefully be pretty easy to get. And last but by no means least, we have reached our very final one for today's list. So last up, we do have the Air Jordan 3 in the Allwood brown colourway, scheduled to be releasing on the 29th of July for a retail price of £190. I'm not even going to touch on the price because I could be here all day. I'm a huge Jordan 3 fan, but £190 is just absolutely unbelievable.
Why?
Now, this is definitely a shoe that we've been seeing for quite a while. They did actually premiere these on the Jordan Sneakers releases for summer. As soon as I saw them, I'll be honest, I really wasn't too impressed by them. And it's only been a case that as time has passed on and more release images have been shown, that I've kind of come around to the idea on it. Now, as far as my Jordan 3 collection is concerned, every single pair in my collection is a leather Jordan 3. I've had suede ones before, and I've never really worn them because I live in England, it rains a lot, and anytime I opt to go for a Jordan 3, it tends to be throughout autumn and winter. So there isn't really much need for me to get these, even though I do think it is an absolutely beautiful colorway. It's clean, it's beautiful. You honestly can't go wrong with a Jordan 3. Very comfortable, very easy to style, very easy to match to a lot of outfits. But because of the delicate nature of the materials, I'm going to begrudgingly say that this is definitely going to be a pass for me. If, like myself, you are a fan of Jordan 3s, this could definitely be one that you might want to consider adding to your own personal collection. And like we said throughout this entire list, this shoe will be releasing on Sneakers and it will be releasing via raffle as well. Jordan 3s are always widely available. Even something as revered as the white cements is going for right around retail, or maybe £20 to £30 over in certain sizes. So again, don't go crazy for it. Don't be entering all the raffles. I feel like if you do want to get your hands on them, this is definitely going to be a very easy one to get. And I do personally feel like this shoe is definitely going to sit. And just like that, we've wrapped up my top 10 best upcoming sneakers for the month of July. Honestly, very glad to be getting back to it. I love doing these lists, even though it takes a lot more effort in terms of the editing side of things and actually getting the information together. I always love just sitting down, just talking about these upcoming releases and getting excited for what shoes I want to add to my own personal collection. I've had my say on what I'm excited for, so I'd love to get your guys' take on it as well. So do let me know which shoe on this list you are most looking forward to picking up. And if there are any shoes that are releasing throughout July that didn't make this list that you feel like should have, again, do make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Now, if you have stuck around to this point in the video, as I say in every one of my videos, I do just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace.